Okay, so cells. Cells are the building blocks of living things. A cell is a basic unit of life. Because all functions can be carried out by living things are carried out by their individual cells. So two scientists who study cells combine their observations to make a hypothesis that all living things are made up of cells. Okay? And then yet another scientist contributed his observations, and together they formulated cell theory. So all three of them formulated this one theory. And cell theory is made up of three main ideas. One, all organisms are composed of one or more cells. Two, the cell is a basic unit of organization of organisms. And three, all cells come from pre-existing cells. So a cell doesn't spontaneously develop. Okay, so this is against the idea of spontaneous generation, which was the very first way that they thought up of cells, they thought that organisms existed, was that this idea that you could put specific things together and then all of a sudden you'd get, a cat or a mouse or, a human. And these guys were the first guys to come up with, no, these cells have to come from pre-existing ones. They don't just spontaneously develop, okay? So all cells, plant and animal, have structures, and each structure performs a specific function in order for the cell to maintain its life. So when viewed from a compound light microscope, these cell structures become visible to the naked eye. Alright? So these cell structures are organelles, the things that we've been talking about for a while now. Cell size and function. So to carry out their work, cells need a constant supply of materials such as oxygen, water, and food particles, as they need to get rid of waste products. And all of these materials must pass through the cell membrane. Most cells fall into a very narrow range between 10 to 50 micrometers. Okay? So very, 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 very small. When we look at cell organization, we have unicellular organisms. So single-cell organisms can perform all of the functions needed for survival within the confines of its individual cellular interior. An amoeba are common unicellular organisms that live in, and they move throughout a foot-like projections. Okay, so these are pseudopods or false feet. They extend a pseudopod and the cytoplasm fills it, and they also use their pseudopods to capture food by surrounding it between pseudopods and absorbing it. Okay? And you compare that to a paramecium. These move swiftly through the fresh water where they live, and they are covered in hair-like structures called cilia, which is what we talked about the other day. They move back and forth like little oars moving through the water. Cilia also help them gather food by channeling the food into their oral groove, which is also lined with cilia, and it sweeps the food into the cytoplasm, forming a food vacuole. Okay? When you compare that to multicellular organisms, where multicellular organisms can live in a wide variety of environments, they can grow very large, they obtain their energy from a wide variety of foods. We have complex bodies and specialized function in working in harmony with other cells. So all of our cells don't look the same, okay, in the sense that a blood cell looks different from a skin cell, looks different from a muscle cell, looks different from a bone cell, looks different from a nerve cell, okay, where an amoeba cell looks all the same. They all look like amoeba cells, okay. So we're going to talk about some different cell functions or some different cell structures or organelles. We're just going to look quickly at these particular ones, and you guys know the list that I'm expecting out of you guys, okay?